picked up by Wolf. Nash alley-oop, and it goes inside for Stoudemire. Against Odom, counted, and a foul.
That's also the beauty of Steve Nash. He understands the frustration of Amar'e Stoudemire right now. He's had some fouls. He hadn't been on top of his game. Look at the chance he takes to get him the ball inside, to get him this three-point play opportunity. There's only one other guard in the league that I think takes the risk with the basketball that Steve Nash does, and that to me is Jason Kidd. They don't look at the consequences of a turnover. They might have 6-8 turnovers, but they'll look to make that play. That's their confidence, the beauty of it. Being able to thread the needle and make a chance on a play that other guys won't even try.
Odom, who just picked up his 4th foul, goes crashing into Marion, who picks up a foul, and just finishing up on Nash. All great point guards always reward the big man for running. A lot of guys, they're running back and forth, Doug, and don't touch the ball for a couple trips, they'll give up. But Nash is always very cognizant. Going back to a point you made back in the first half.
Well, you think about it. Who's setting all the screens? Who's rebounding the ball and outletting so you can run? They're the trigger men of your break. And Shawn Marion is going to sit down here. Did he pick up fouls there?
Marion picked up his 3rd, and Diaw will take his place.
So this is the importance of having a guy like Boris Diaw, who was a starting frontline player last year in the playoffs. When you think about it, it was Boris Diaw, Tim Thomas, and Shawn Marion. Well, Tim Thomas now with the Clippers, and Boris Diaw now coming off the bench with Amar'e Stoudemire back in the rotation.
And Diaw has kind of been the lost piece of this whole puzzle here as Nash puts one up and in over Farmar. But Diaw has been kind of groping for his position on this team as they welcome back Stoudemire.
Well, he's not doing as much of the ball handling responsibilities as he did last year. He made so many of those plays. He and Marion ran those pick and rolls with one another.
It's Kwame Brown. And that is a foul on the Phoenix Suns. James Jones was in there taking it and picks up the foul. And that is a second on Jones. The other end, we saw Nash put in his 12th point of the night.
I think that I think what the Lakers are saying is, like, if you're going to call a block there, why don't you let that go and let us get the easy score there? It looked like James Jones tried to step in. I couldn't tell with that angle whether Kwame really lowered his shoulder or whether Jones had stepped in.
Bryant pickpocketed again. Here comes Bell into Odom with a trailing Jones. And he stepped out of bounds. He did. Down low with 7 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
That fast break doesn't look quite as pretty if Steve Nash is not running it, does it? I mean, that was Raja Bell who made a great defensive play. James Jones, and both of those guys, I thought James Jones should have gone up and taken the shot.
There's some numbers tonight in the Los Angeles Lakers.
Phil Jackson said if they had over 12 turnovers, he didn't think they could win the game tonight.
Phoenix is done against L.A. Odom crunching inside into Bell, who picks up the foul and very animated with his displeasure. That's the 3rd on Raja Bell. With 6:48 to play here in the 3rd quarter in Phoenix with Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan, Craig Sager, our Emmy Award-winning reporter, is facing the sidelines. A win tonight by the Suns. They close out this series against the Los Angeles Lakers. Phoenix up 3 games to 1. Odom at the line, and he has now 17, 5 of 8 from the stripe.
That elbow really bothered him the other night. 2 of 6 from the foul line. The other day, 6 of 15 going into tonight's game, and you can see in the closeout games what they have done. 4-1 under Mike D'Antoni. The only loss they had was in Game 6 on the road last year in round 2 against the Clippers.
On the field, the Phoenix Suns are 48%. The Los Angeles Lakers at 45%. Bryant with 18 and Odom with 18 lead Los Angeles. 16 by Marion leading the Phoenix Suns. Diaw finds an open Jones. With an offensive 3 by James Jones, who said he sharpened his three-point shooting while a member of the Pacers learning from Reggie Miller.
Well, you learn from the best.
Kobe, 8 of 19, 8 of 20. Rebound by Stoudemire, shoved by Walton inside, who draws the Laker foul, number 4. Number 4 on Luke Walton.
Well, the game will change now speed-wise. Beep. Leandro Barbosa is back in the game. Let's see if he can have one of those patented runs that he had in Game 1 and 2 that really gave the Suns a lot of distance with the Lakers.
Barbosa replacing James Jones. Nash with the screen. They switch on defense. Here's Diaw to Nash. Diaw into Brown. Kobe's got Barbosa. Nash is open for a three with Farmar defending. Rebound by Odom, and Farmar racing the other way. Barbosa on Odom. Lamar with the rebound, bad, shoulder and all, digs his way for two, and Odom now with the Lakers 20 high tonight. 10 in this third quarter. Another 12-point lead. This is the spread at halftime. The Phoenix Suns throw it away. Here comes Kobe Bryant.
Very sloppy third quarter by the Phoenix Suns, not nearly as sharp as they were in the first half.
Farmar has it. You said the third quarter will tell a lot by Phoenix.
This is when they have those letdowns. You get in the locker room at halftime, you're looking at possibly advancing, and Steve Nash says we do that sometimes. As Odom knocks down that jump shot, it's now a 10-point game. He says sometimes we get a little bit fat and full of ourselves. We start looking ahead, and we still got work here to do tonight. This game's not over.
Odom with 22. Barbosa with the crossover. Snaps it outside. Bell for three. Defended by Bryant. Rebound by Farmar. He'll push the pace. This is what happens, though, to a lot of teams. Doug, they get lured into playing that Phoenix pace.
You know, Kobe's 8 for 20 in this game right now, and they're hanging around at 10 points.
Walt looking for Farmar, who was just in a straitjacket inside. Got it up, and a foul is called. Kobe, who has gone scoreless in this third quarter. Foul went on Diaw for the third time. 10-point game, late stages, third quarter from Phoenix.
Inspiration comes standard, and by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
We can't ask him to be God out there. I mean, he's going to miss. He's going to make some mistakes. You know, sometimes people put him in a terrible position to be in. He's like in a lose-lose. You know, either he shoots too much, or he's too selfish or being too unselfish. And I think that's terribly unfair. It's up to us to put together, you know, strings at a time, possessions at a time, where we can go away from him. Up to myself to even take over the game, possessions at a time, so he can rest and reserve himself for the fourth quarter.
Doug, you said something this morning at breakfast, which I think kind of surprised some of us, but you felt it was very valid. You said he's the most criticized great player in the NBA.
Well, he is, you know, because you heard Lamar Odom say it as a teammate. I mean, Kobe, everybody watches what this guy does, and you know, he's 0 for 4 in this quarter, but in this series you can see 32.5 points, shooting over 49%, 40% from three. Look at this, 93% from the free throw line, and he has a competitive will of a giant. I mean, he fights every single second, and you got to admire that in him. And let's see if he can get it going here now with Bell on the bench here. Now he's being guarded by Sean Marion.
Farmar's out there with Brown and Odom, Bryant and Walton. That is the Laker 5. The stutter step by Farmar, just enough to throw Nash off on his defense. And now at the other end, here comes Nash. Farmar has 11, and Nash now with his bucket 12. Diaw with the tap in on the missed Nash shot, and Diaw's got 8. Here's Odom with 22, right into Boris Diaw. And over Stoudemire, over two very tall guys.
Well, he's playing terrific tonight. That's 24 points for him tonight. He has 8 rebounds, 4 on the offensive end. He's gotten to the foul line 9 times. Lamar Odom is here to try to get this series back to L.A. on a Game 6.
Odom's got a 14-point third quarter working right now. Nash wheeling around. Farmar throws it away. Kobe and Barbosa with Bell resting on the bench. Here comes Barbosa tangling with Bryant. That is a foul. And Barbosa picks up number 3 for the Phoenix Suns. Let's watch Diaw here again on the miss shot by Steve. Was it in the cylinder?
And very close.
Yeah, it was. There's Kobe at the free throw line. Doug, how do you think he is looking at the future of the Los Angeles Lakers, where he is obviously the centerpiece, but when he looks around, I mean, what does he see, and where are they going to go?
Great concern. Great concern at this stage of his life. He's in the prime of his athletic existence, and he needs help. And, you know, I know they had a lot of injuries this year, whatever, but you can see what he did in Game 3 when he was on his game, 45 points. He had 22 of those in the paint, 13 of those from the free throw line. But the Lakers got a lot of things they're going to have to do in the offseason, because there's a lot of teams in the West that are ahead of them, and there's a lot of teams below them that could be moving up next year. So this will be an incredible offseason for the Lakers to see if they can find him some help.
Right now we got a 5-point game. Here's Marion from Steve Nash. Nash picks up his 6th assist. Marion's got 18. Lakers on an 11-4 run right now. Farmar to Walton, grinding his way into Barbosa. Gets his own miss, shuts it back in for L.A.
One of the few times they were able to take advantage of Luke Walton in the post on Barbosa.
Walton's got his first 2. Nash, Stoudemire, and Walton reaching in, knocked the ball away at the 3:05 mark of this third quarter. That's Walton's 5th personal foul.
You know, Kevin, I could almost have bet this was going to happen in the third quarter. You know, the Suns, I've seen him so much this year, and I'm sure Mike D'Antoni, he loves this team so much, but when they go through stretches like this, where when they lose a little bit of that competitive edge, you know what it shows is they get sloppy on offense. They start turning the ball over. You know, they give up easy scores. They start fouling. You know, one of the things they don't want to do is foul to stop the game. And we've seen that, all those things here in this third quarter.
They almost play, Doug, the Suns better when it's a more of a desperate situation.
Well, there's no question. I mean, Steve Nash said, I wish we could play tonight like it was a Game 7, but you can't cheat human nature. Everybody knows we're up 3-1.
Farmar's got 11, one of his best games of the season. On the biggest stage, the playoffs. Bell back in, working on Bryant. Kobe is 8 of 21. Evans has just come in the game. He steals it, and then Barbosa takes it right back. Barbosa with a little 360 pirouette. Nash trying to squeeze it inside. We've got a lot of Lakers touching that. Bryant the other way. Kobe has missed his last 8 shots. Guarded by Nash, doubled by Marion. Lasers one into Odom. And puts up and in his 26th point tonight with 9 rebounds.
If I'd have said to you, Kobe's missed all 8 shots in this quarter, and they've cut this lead from 12 to 5, I don't think you would have bought into that.
Little swagger for the Lakers, too, huh?
They're hanging around.
Nash into Stoudemire, passing into Odom, and a foul called on Lamar Odom. Odom picks up his 5th. And a timeout with 2:09 to play. And for tonight's In the City, presented by Dodge, a look at our all-new 2008 Avenger. Doug and I were cruising through the streets and through the valleys of Phoenix, Arizona today. Folks, let me tell you, with Doug Collins at the wheel, buckle up, baby! We got a timeout. You're watching the playoffs on TNT.
Could it look like...
Stoudemire picked up his 4th.
In that timeout, I think Craig Sager has an update of what's going on. What's going on over there, Sags?
Well, Kwame came over to the sidelines and told everybody that he was hurting in the side, said he caught an elbow, doesn't know from whom, so they had that flak jacket ready, and athletic trainer Gary Vee put a little undressing on him during the timeout.
Brown's got 4 with 7 rebounds, and this is his first free throw attempt tonight.
And Mike D'Antoni, just see him shaking his head over there right now. We talked about what's at stake. The Spurs have already won. Suns lose tonight. They got to go back for Game 6 on Friday night.
Lakers on a 17-7 run. Stoudemire over Brown. Rebound by Amari Stoudemire as Bryant was reaching in. And Kobe picks up the foul for L.A. That is number 1.